What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Yusuf Al-Saned, and today, guys, after having reviewed Andrzej Żuławski's 1981 film, Possession, I thought I'd review another horror film, this time a 1968 classic by George A. Romero, that classic being the zombie horror film, Night of the Living Dead. And guys, this was the movie that started the zombie genre in mainstream cinema. Now, zombies have always been in cinema for a very long time, but it was George A. Romero that brought the zombie genre to mainstream audiences. And guys, if you all know me, I love zombies. Zombies are among my greatest fetishes out there. And guys, it sounds weird, but that's just how I am. I love zombies to death. I really do. And George A. Romero's film, Night of the Living Dead, is a classic in the zombie genre. It's also a classic horror film in general, and he has gone on to make such amazing films like Dawn of the Dead, and also the very underrated Day of the Dead. And Land of the Dead I actually enjoy, but it wasn't really anything special. But Night of the Living Dead is really a big film, guys. I mean, it's a film that was made at a very small budget, but George A. Romero was able to film this movie in one setting, I think one or two settings in the film, and it's so good just to revisit the film again and to see how small the budget was, and how a lot of the things that happens in the film is all very practical, and the effects for the zombies is all outstanding. Now, the basic story for Night of the Living Dead is about this young woman named Barbara who visits the grave of her father alongside her brother Johnny. They're going to the cemetery to pay their respects to their father, but her brother Johnny is killed by this dude who just wanders around the cemetery, and this dude just so happens to be a zombie who eats her brother. And Barbara is obviously in shock. She's traumatized, and she already had the fear of whatever, and she stumbles upon this cabin, a small house where she tries to find refuge, and is by herself until this man, an African American man named Ben, played by Dwayne Jones, who tries to secure the house, and is he's very meticulous about making sure all the windows are shut, the doors are barred, and that everything is secure, and they have all the resources they need. Now, guys, the thing about Ben is that out of all the characters in the film, all the characters who are mostly white, actually they're all white, from like Barbara to Tom and Judy to Mr. Cooper and his wife and his young daughter, Ben is the most rational, the most logic person of the entire film. And guys, what's so interesting about this film as a horror film and as a movie made at a time when there weren't many black people cast in significant roles, and Ben was such a big character at that time, because even to this very day, there aren't any black leads in a movie, especially a horror film. Usually it's the white male, the straight white male, or a white female, like say Sidney Prescott from the Scream films. And Ben was a character who, at the time, it was very shocking to see a black lead character in a movie, especially one who is very rational, and there aren't a single hint of stereotype to his character. And Dwayne Jones, this was actually his only film he starred in that actually gave him prominence, even if it's just a horror film. But what's sad is that this movie, if you guys seen it, the way it concludes is just, my God. I mean, guys, you can tell by my reaction right now, it doesn't end happy at all. But I'm not going to say anything about that ending, but God, I mean, This kind of film, a zombie story, is just something where you want to see the character overcome all odds, overcome the nightmare, the horror of these creatures eating and devouring human flesh. And it's not like, they're cannibals or anything. These people are dead. Now, they never once referenced them as zombies. I mean, despite there being so many zombie films, they not once referenced them as zombies. Even in games like the Resident Evil series or Silent Hill, if you can call those creatures in the game zombies, they aren't referenced once as being zombies except one time in Resident Evil 2. But I'm getting ahead of myself right now. Now, except for World War Z with Brad Pitt, there was a moment when they described these creatures as zombies. But the fact that these zombies in this movie, guys, this is so interesting because in shows like The Walking Dead, which I love to death, it's one of my 5 shows out there. I really love The Walking Dead. The zombies in this movie, they use objects as weapons. They destroy lights. They are able to tear down doors the way people would in real life. And the fact that they were said to carry and flip a car over, 5 zombies in total, it's so scary because in The Walking Dead, you see zombies just going around like eating people and stuff. But in this movie, they can take a weapon, kill you. They can kick you and punch you even. I mean, I'm surprised there aren't any zombies that rob a lady's wallet or something like that. But this kind of film, guys, really does show why George A. Romero is a genius in how he's able to portray these zombies as real living creatures, especially in Dawn of the Dead, which I can't wait to review. And I'm so glad to be back to watching Night of the Living Dead. Now, I have a very close friend who is known as Murdering Media, but is also known as Movies _ Music. He's one of my closest friends from New York. His name is John. John, if you're watching this, thank you, buddy. Thank you very much. I love you, man. And it was John who got me back into these classic zombie films by George A. Romero, and he's a guy that loves films from the golden age of cinema, and I love these kind of movies, guys. Now, to be fair, the dialogue, it's not that great. The film is obviously dated because of how it looks. The acting is fine, I guess, but the standout performance is without question Dwayne Jones as Ben. Guys, I could go on and on about how much I love Ben, but it won't do any justice to the film and just how good it is, and how, for me personally, it's a very enduring classic because it shows a different side to zombies as opposed to the usual wandering around eating live people and stuff. These zombies are almost intelligent and how they are able to use weapons and stuff, but the thing about this film that separates it from other zombie stories and movies or in television and games in general is how George A. Romero almost sees these zombies as real people in real situation, and there's a lot of commentary and themes brought up in his trilogy of zombie films from Night of the Living Dead to Day of the Dead, and Dawn of the Dead being the best of them. But I'm going to review both those movies in due time. And guys, please watch George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead. It's a classic among classics in horror movies, and I love it as a movie in general. And I hope you all enjoy this video, and please check out Night of the Living Dead. And until next time, guys, thank you all for watching. Please check out my gaming channel where I do Let's Plays and other gaming content. And see you all later. Adios, amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.